It seems like these days you're basically required to own a fortune's worth of expensive jewelry, cars, and clothes if you want to be a musical artist. The image of an artist is fundamentally dependent on the idea that rapping and singing is such a high-paid career you don't even have to work at all. But the truth is, behind the scenes, rich and famous artists don't exist without countless hours of work from all the different people on their teams to turn their personas into profitable brands. Video directors, photographers, social media managers, booking agents, stylists, audio engineers, lawyers, writers, these are all important jobs that can turn a rap career from a dream into reality. But there's no part of an artist team that is more important than the producer. Having a producer that understands your sound and can build beats around your strengths as a rapper, as well as elevate your music with their own unique touch, that's what separates amateur artists rapping over $40 YouTube beats from cutting-edge, forward-thinking musical pioneers. Producers are so essential that there's just no such thing as a great rap song without great production. While I think we can all see that good rapping isn't exactly necessary to make songs go viral. And with rappers seemingly making so much money from their songs, it's only logical to think that their producers who provide 50% of the DNA of a track would also be raking in piles of cash. But it turns out that being a hip-hop producer is much more of a thankless job than you might think. Looking at a 2021 list of the highest earning hip-hop acts, there isn't a single producer on the list. In an era where artists like Yeat and Ken Carson are basically being carried by their production, when hip-hop is more dependent on good beats than ever before, why are producers still so underappreciated? I'm Philip, this is Volksgeist, let's get into it. This video is brought to you by Nebula through our bundle with CuriosityStream. Nebula is the only place where you can watch all of my videos a full video ahead of schedule, including my next video, The Top Artists of 2022, which is available right now only on Nebula. You can get Nebula for less than $15 a year through our CuriosityStream bundle. More on that later. First of all, what is the role of a producer? Hip-hop producers wear many hats. They might compose music, they might play instruments, they might chop up samples, they might guide artists or lead musicians through live recording sessions. Sometimes producers work as mixing and recording engineers at the same time, and there are lots of well-known producers such as The Alchemist, Madlib, Kenny Beats, Murda Beats, Metro Boomin, Sunny Digital, Hit Boy, 808 Mellow. These are all well-known names, and there are many more who are familiar to the average music listener. But most working producers in music don't have nearly as much notoriety relative to the impact they make on the songs we listen to. And like I mentioned earlier, despite all the work they put in, the majority of producers aren't making nearly as much per song as popular rappers in their genre. But that doesn't necessarily mean that being a producer is a bad job. Let's look at where the inequality in earnings comes from and what exactly producers can do to get their fair share. If you're a popular producer, you work with major record labels, you're selling a couple beats a month, you're probably making money one of two ways. First of all, you're selling beats to rappers. Hypothetically, let's say you're Metro Boomin and 21 Savage is in the studio recording for a new song. He asks for beats, you send him some beats, and if he ends up using an instrumental you sent, you could charge a flat fee or a percentage point of the royalties. If you want to get paid in percentage points, major labels will usually pay around 1.5 to 3 or 4% of a song's royalties to the producer. This could be a pretty good deal if the song goes viral and ends up getting a billion streams. Like, for example, let's say Butterfly Effect by Travis Scott. That's a pretty mature song. It came out 4 years ago, and in those 4 years, it's gotten a billion streams on Spotify, which alone is worth like $60,000. So while that's probably not as much as the artist is getting paid, most artists make between 10 and 20% of their streaming royalties unless they own their masters. Selling beats for a percentage of royalties can be a good idea if you're a producer with a big name who gets to work with big artists whenever you want to. But not every song is a Butterfly Effect type of track. In fact, there are only a few songs like that every single year. So another way that many producers charge for their music is a flat fee per beat sold. Of course, you don't have the possibility of making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 down the road if the song goes super viral, but it's a safer way of getting paid up front if the song isn't necessarily expected to be a huge hit. While some producers at the top of the food chain can charge in the ballpark of $50,000 to $75,000 per beat if they have a long list of successful songs behind them, it's more common that beats from moderately successful producers can go from around $5,000 to $15,000 depending on who they're selling to. And that can add up pretty quickly to a solid amount of money if you're selling a few dozen beats per year. But at the same time, many producers can be featured on platinum-selling viral hit songs and end up with little to no boosts to their personal brands whatsoever. The average music listener can probably name 100 artists. You could be vaguely aware of their life stories, where they come from, but I probably only know the faces and details of maybe a dozen, 20 producers at best, and I'm someone who's always paying attention to the music industry. And I think that's how it is for most music listeners. Sure, we all know Metro Boomin, Hit Boy, The Alchemist, Madlib, but there are countless producers producers whose work we listen to all the time without ever knowing their names or faces. And that leads to another issue producers have to deal with. One of the main ways that rappers get paid for their music isn't from Spotify or radio, it's from cashing in on their brand. I mentioned earlier that producers might get 2 to 3% of the royalties from a song, but it's not like the rapper is getting the other 98. They're most likely getting around 15 to 20% of what a song makes on streaming if they're making any money from royalties at all. A lot of record labels don't pay out for royalties whatsoever, and the only way for artists to make money is to cash in on their brand. In order to make real money, most rappers have to go on tour, which can make tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars per show. They can sell features to other artists for tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars per verse. They can do club appearances for tens of thousands of dollars. Some artists can even get multi-million-dollar clothing and shoe sponsorships like athletes. Some rappers sell merch. They can create whole lines of products like drinks or jewelry. 99% of producers will never be able to do any of that because they don't get enough publicity in the industry to command that sort of respect. While Lil Wayne signed a multi-million-dollar sponsorship deal with Mountain Dew, the producer of A Milli, one of Wayne's most popular songs, later had to sue Lil Wayne's label for not paying him for the beat from that mega popular hit track. And remember, once you sell a beat to a rapper, that's their beat now. It's their song. They can go perform it at any concert they want to for the rest of their career, and you can't because they bought it from you. Washed up rappers still play shows and make a decent living for years after the fact. Can you say the same for producers? On the other hand, a small group of producers have managed to brand themselves to the point where they become just as recognizable as many of their rapper counterparts. And Metro Boomin is the shining modern example of a superstar producer. He's had countless hits with Future, Migos, 21 Savage, Young Thug, Gucci Mane, Travis Scott, and many others, to the point where Metro Boomin can reportedly charge up to $75,000 for one single instrumental. Metro Boomin is so popular that he can release his own albums that hit #1 on the Billboard charts, just off his name alone. And he's considered by many to be the creator of the late 2010s trap sound, all as a producer. And Metro Boomin has capitalized on that influence by releasing his own albums, Metro Boomin albums, one of which went platinum and debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. There are many other producers who were able to monetize on a similar level in the 2000s, like Pharrell, Timbaland, Swizz Beatz, with Pharrell also having his own hit songs with rappers themselves as the guest features instead of the other way around. One of the most recent being Cash In, Cash Out with Tyler, the Creator, and 21 Savage. But at the same time, many producers can get screwed over if they sell a beat for $500, $1,000, $5,000, and the song ends up getting hundreds of millions of streams unexpectedly. For example, Lil Nas X bought the beat to Old Town Road for just $30, a song that would go on to become the fastest track to ever be certified diamond and the longest charting #1 single of all time. Just $30 for the beat. But at the same time, selling beats on the internet for low prices has become one of the best ways for producers to make a good living off their work. Small amateur producers actually have something that no small rappers could ever have. People are actually willing to buy what they're selling. Most amateur rappers could never get $50 for a feature in their wildest dreams. That's just not how rap works. If you don't have some kind of clout or some kind of brand, it doesn't matter if you can rap fast or if you have good melodies, no one wants to hear from you if they don't know who you are already. But that issue of brand awareness doesn't apply to producers at all. Websites like BeatStars have made it possible for more unknown producers to make money from their beats than ever before. And of course, bigger artists may end up noticing you and hiring you to work for them if your beats pick up traction. Where at the same time, the chance of a no-name rapper posting on YouTube and getting picked up by a label the next day is next to zero. So nowadays, there are thousands of producer channels on YouTube selling dreams and aspirations to up-and-coming artists. Type beat channels will upload beats in the style of established artists. Frank Ocean type beat, 21 Savage type beat, whatever you're looking for, you can find it, and young artists looking to copy their favorite rappers and singers will go buy instrumentals off these channels to rap on top of so they can quickly and easily find the style they're looking for. And for a lot of producers, this has quickly become a profitable business model. A lot of the time, the same beat can be sold countless times to different artists, and there are so many type beat channels that get tens or hundreds of thousands of views per video, which means they're making ad revenue on top of the sales for extra monetization. Ant Chamberlain is a producer whose work has been featured by artists like Lil Baby, Summer Walker, King Von and Lil Durk, and Earth Gang, and he also has a YouTube channel where he sells beats online, and he says that he makes over $20,000 a month selling instrumentals and earning ad revenue from his videos. This model has been adopted by many producers throughout the industry, such as Havoc from Mobb Deep, Shawty Red, who's one of the pioneers of trap music, 808 Mellow, who worked closely with Pop Smoke, and of course the Internet Money Collective, who are some of the first pioneers of the online beat sale market in the first place. At this point, you're probably probably wondering if pursuing a career in music production is even worth it at all. And I think the answer is that it definitely can be if you really love making music for its own sake and don't see it as a get-rich-quick scheme, because that's not what it is. A hip-hop producer is someone who's so passionate about their craft that they don't really need to be in the spotlight. It's a job that takes real hard work. You aren't going to go viral overnight with a shitty beat, and even if you do, it's probably not going to last more than 5 minutes. And even if you do put in tons of hard work and you make a lot of money, you still might not end up famous, so to speak. A career as a music producer can be both lucrative and frustrating at the same time, as the industry will almost never treat you with the respect you deserve. There are so many stories of producers who create the beats and the instrumentals and the backbone of famous songs and either don't get paid at all or only get paid pennies compared to how much the song might make. As a producer, you need to have a strong work ethic creatively and in business to get the recognition and the money you're owed. But ultimately, producers are just as important to the art as the rappers. If you have the passion to put the work in, the right producer and the right artist teaming up at the right time can absolutely create 2 stars at once. If you're interested in how producers get paid, I think you'll also like my video breaking down the top artists of 2022, which is available a week early on Nebula. Nebula really is the best place to watch my videos anywhere on the internet, including my newest video, the top artists of 2022, as well as my exclusive Closer Look series covering albums like Whole Lotta Red, Call Me If You Get Lost, and many more. Nebula is an independent video platform that I helped create that has no ads and no algorithm. It's a place for high-quality creators to post not only our regular videos, but also experimental, exclusive, and generally higher quality videos that you can't find anywhere else. That's why there are over 150 channels on Nebula, like FD Signifier, Polyphonic, Wendover Productions, and Adam Neely, to name just a few. And the best way to get access to Nebula and all of these fascinating exclusive videos is through our bundle with CuriosityStream, which is a fascinating platform full of documentaries on any subject imaginable. And our bundle gives you access to both services for less than $15 a year. So if you want to get access to all of my videos a full cycle before they're available anywhere else on the internet, including my brand new video, The Top Artists of 2022, as well as my exclusive Closer Look series, go to curiositystream.com/Volksy and sign up for Nebula and CuriosityStream at less than $15 for the entire year. If you click on the button on screen, it'll take you directly to the sign up page where you can get CuriosityStream with Nebula for less than $15 for the entire year, or go to curiositystream.com/Volksy to support the channel. And of course, thank you so much for watching.